Yeah, at this time of the year, you get a chance to play in a championship game, and you know that you got to work. You worked hard to get to this point, and then you've got to play. And we played some of our best basketball during this last 3 days. And actually, we played some of our best basketball during the last 6 games that we've played. And you don't win championships without really, really good players, And if you have really, really good players, then you give yourself a chance to win those games. And, the way the game started, Kristen getting us going early, and then Megan, and, we have really good players. That's how you win these games. That's how you win these championships.
Okay, we're joined by Kristen and Megan right now, so we'll take questions for the student athletes first, and then we'll dismiss them back to the locker room.
Megan and Kristen, for both of you, you guys haven't shied away all season from talking about wanting to finish this undefeated run in the conference. Obviously, when you come to UConn, there's a lot behind you. So, how much of this was pressure, doing this for the players in the past, and how much of this is pride in what you guys have accomplished?
There you go. I would say it's not a lot of pressure. It's more of a pride thing, but we wanted to get it done for our coach and the people who came before us. So it was something that we do. It's understood.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's pressure. It's more of a pride thing as well. When you come here, this is one of the goals that you have to win your conference, and we've won how many? I don't even know. How many have we won? 7. So that was definitely the goal, to finish out this conference moving forward.
Please raise your hand if you have a question.
Kristen, this time of year, over here, March, do you go out of your way to try to turn your game up? What's your thought process as you head into this stretch of the season?
Well, I look at it as a new season. I try to change my approach and change my mentality. It's the postseason. It's do or die now. So that's my mentality going forward, and I think that's our team's mentality, and it helps us.
Kristen, can you just talk about the second quarter that you guys had that kind of kept with you in the first quarter? Did you feel it was just a matter of time in terms of them running with you, or did you guys change something up after that first quarter?
Basketball is a game of runs. We knew they were going to have runs, but we have our runs too. They played a good game tonight, but we really executed our game plan as well. So.
Meg, could you address that a little bit, that up and down pace, and how much you guys seem to just thrive off it and get the ball up the floor? How much fun was that tonight?
Yeah, we love to get up and down. We're at our best when we're, forcing turnovers, making plays in transition. So, a lot of teams choose to go that route and play fast against us, and it only helps us.
Megan and Kristen, what did it mean to get this win for Kyla?
We actually just talked to her on FaceTime. It means a lot. It's really sad that she couldn't be here, because I know this was one of her goals, especially as a senior. So it means a lot to win this for her.
Coach was mentioning you guys have played some of your basketball in the last 6 games. Can you just talk about how the team has come together over this time, and do you feel like there's been a steady improvement, and what do you need to do to get to your next goal?
Like you said, we've been playing great basketball over the past 2 to 3 weeks. It's finally started to come together. I feel like the main thing is we're all feeding off of each other, energy-wise, when we're out there on the court, and I feel like everyone can see it. But for us going forward, we just got to keep that up, making sure everyone's in the gym together and make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah, everybody is engaged, whether you're in the game or on the bench, and I think that's very important. It's also very encouraging that we're seeing multiple people score points. Like Aubrey's coming off the bench, scoring, getting rebounds. It's just a different feel from the beginning of the season to now, and that's something that we have to keep doing in the postseason.
If anyone will take one more question for the student athletes, if there are any.
You mentioned, Aubrey, how excited were you guys when she got that award at the end? At the end there, you were all throwing the confetti at her, and can you just talk about the play of the two freshmen, especially during this tournament?
We were excited. We didn't really expect it, but I mean, she played, as well, so she deserves that award. And they've been strong for us, over these last couple games. So we need to keep that up and keep it moving in the right direction.
Well, I expected it. I thought she played.
They caught me off guard.
I thought she played her butt off the whole tournament. I think it was well deserved. And Anna played great too. They've been great for us, and we just need them to keep it up, keep doing what they're doing.
Thank you, ladies, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Questions for Coach Oriema?
Gino.
Sorry, Jim. My apologies.
Gino, can you just talk about the consistency that this program has? You just never seem to lose to teams that you're not supposed to, and it ends up you going undefeated for 7 years in conference.
Being in a new conference, we didn't really know what to expect from, all the teams that were going to be in the league. So, we just try to approach every game the same way, try to show up every day at practice and get ourselves prepared. And, I think the obvious factor is, our players are really, really good. When you think about it, you're not going to win these games. You're not going to win these championships if you don't have really good players. And we've managed to do that the whole time we've been in the league. And it's not like this is the first time that it started happening. So it's not like this is a new thing for us. We were doing this regardless, 15, 20 years ago, before the American Athletic Conference even, was thought about. So it's just part of who we are. We don't expect to win every game. We don't, we're not arrogant thinking that we deserve to win every game. We just prepare to win every game and try to be consistent and try to treat every team with the respect that they deserve. So whether we're playing Cincinnati or whether we're playing, Baylor, it doesn't matter. We're gonna prepare the exact same way, and we're gonna do the scouting report the exact same way. We're gonna, we don't change anything for any team. So, I think that's the biggest consistency is our approach is very consistent, day in and day out.
Gino, you mentioned last 6 games you really felt like they started to play. Why? What is it about a team? Why wasn't it 10 games ago? Why not later 4 games? What was it about this team that it started to click at 6?
I don't know. Sometimes, you just need something to happen. I will say, though, that right before our Cincinnati game at Cincinnati, right before that game, the day before that game was turns out it was kind of a pivotal day for us because when we left practice that day, things were not very good. Things were not where I wanted them to be, and we did not go to Cincinnati in the right frame of mind as far as I was concerned. And I would have not been surprised one iota if we had lost the game at Cincinnati. But I think the players finally started to understand that I'm serious. There's no playing games. There's no, we're getting towards the end here, and this is how we're going to do it. And we went out there, and quite frankly, I was shocked at how well we played and how well we shot the ball in that game. And it just opened a lot of people's eyes on our team. Because all the things that we have been talking about, for whatever reason, whether kids are stubborn today or your message isn't getting through or, you don't know how to explain it anymore, I read someplace one time and it said, the job of a teacher, the job of a coach is to be able to explain things to people that have a hard time explaining and understanding, I should say. And you have to be able to understand people that have a hard time explaining. And I think I was passing that test this winter because we were not on the same ballpark, in the same page, not even close. And that day, it all came to a head. And since that day, there's been a huge difference on our team. And Jamel Elliott, that's as simple as I can put it. Stepped into a really tough situation and it's had a huge impact on this team.
Gino, obviously you recruit players who thrive on pressure, but there is a little pressure when you're going into a tournament trying to finish off this undefeated thing. So who surprised you? Who responded better than you thought they might? And how do you think this team has set up for the pressure of what's coming next?
Look, if you decide to come here and play basketball, you're really putting yourself in somewhat of a bad spot because the whole time you're here, you're going to be scrutinized everything that you do. And you have to be pretty tough to handle all that. And you're constantly going to be compared to people that came before you. And you have to be prepared to handle that. Because maybe down the road, some kid that comes here will be, compared to you. I don't know. So when you get here, you start to understand that the only thing that matters is, are you going to win a championship or not? So, I don't know. How many championships we've won? 20-something over the years. So this team is just like those teams. So nobody can say, well, you're not this team, you're not that team. You lost 3 games during the season. Yeah, so those teams all won a conference championship, so do we. So it's something that, you keep in the front of your mind all the time and say, I don't care what anybody says. This team is just as good as last year's team, and the year before, and the year before, and the year before, because they accomplished the exact same thing. And when you have Kristen, Crystal, and Megan, those 3 played a lot of basketball last year. So they were part of all this. And Liv played great in this tournament last year because we didn't have Lou. So, we went into the tournament feeling like, yeah, it's a different crowd on our team, but the results are going to be exactly the same. They believe it, and that's why it happens. So nobody really surprised me. I think everybody did exactly what I think they can do, and that they know they can do. It was exactly what we thought it would be.
Hey, Coach. Piggyback off the statement of Jamel. When she lost her job, you were pretty vocal and had some strong reaction to it. So how gratifying was it that coming into this season that you in the conference winning over Cincinnati with Jamel right by your side?
Yeah, it's a small world, you know. It's funny how things turn out. Look, you know, athletic directors, they have the prerogative to do whatever they want to do with their, you know, with their coaching staffs. And I was just very adamant that if you're going to get rid of Jamel, you should have done it 2 years earlier when they were terrible. Don't do it after she takes that team to the semifinals of the conference tournament. You know, it's just, if you had it in your mind all along that you were going to do it, why didn't you just do it? You know, don't wait for them to get good. And now these are all the players she recruited. You know, so, and don't get me wrong, Kim has done an incredible job. They got it right. You know, when they decided to change coaches, they got it right. She's done a hell of a job. That team is really, really good. Really good. And she's coached the hell out of them. And it's funny that that's the way it played out. That in the last game of, you know, of our season in the conference tournament, you know, she never thought she'd be in that situation again.
Gino, how does this team, the way that they're playing right now, compare to the 3 teams that beat you earlier in the season?
How's what?
Your team, how they're playing right now, how do they compare to the 3 teams that beat you earlier in the season?
We're not as good as them. We're not. They beat our ass. So until we beat them, we're not as good as them. You know, you can say whatever you want to say. The results are on the scoreboard. That's that.
Hey, Coach, from day one, you've talked about, even when you were at your peak, that this day would come where when you go into a tournament, that UConn may not be the best team to be looked at as the best team.
Correct.
How forward do you look to that challenge, and how much do you embrace it?
Well, you have no choice. You know, people are under the impression that, you know, I landed in this job as the favorite to win the conference, the national championship every year. I've coached a lot of teams over the years that weren't the favorites going into the tournament. So I've been there. I've done that. And the players on my team have never won one. This is the first time in a long time that we don't have a single player on our team that's won a national championship. So it's my job. I got to get them ready because I've been there. I've done it. They haven't. So, yeah, this is a huge challenge for us. It's huge. And, you know, we're not going to walk around saying, you know, we're being disrespected because nobody believes in us. It's a bunch of bull, you know. We didn't give them reason to believe in us. We had our chance during the regular season, and we didn't do it. But this is the second season. And now everybody starts 0-0. And we'll see where this ends.
We'll take one more question.
Gino, 2 things. One, you said you're better in the last 6 games. Could you just point to, like, a couple things specifically on the court that you're talking about? And the other thing is, now that we can look back at this conference in retrospect, are you a better program, not as good, the same? What kind of effect did the American have on you?
Well, the reason we've been better the last 6 games is the ball moves. The ball moves more, and more people are touching it. Whereas before that, people were trying to get their own shot first. So we would dribble, and then when we couldn't find anything, we would pass it. And then we dribble, and pass it. And it was unlike anything I had seen from Connecticut basketball. That's not how we play. So these last 6 games, the ball moves. And because the ball moves, people move. And the more people move, and the more they cut, and the more the ball moves, the more they keep moving. And it just feeds on itself. Are we a better program, worse program, or the same program since the program that joined the league? I don't think we're any different whatsoever. You know, we had the same effect in this conference that we had in the other conference we were in. Nothing changed. What changed is you don't get to be indefinitely a national championship team. If it happens, great, but that's not guaranteed. And I know some fans or some people are devastated that we're not the favorite going in. And I find it kind of humorous, to be honest with you, that a horrible year at Connecticut's 29-3 and winning the conference championship and being ranked 5th in the country. That's a rebuilding year. Look around the country. Rebuilding years at other places means you don't even make the tournament. So I think some perspective, Yeah, when we have the best team in the country, I'm the first one to tell you. Those guys that follow us, I tell you in November, we're going to win a national championship. And when we don't have the best team in the country, I'll tell you we don't. There's nothing wrong with that. We are where we are. I like it. I like it. I like it now because we only have to win 6 games. You only got to win 1 in a row 6 times, as Bruno says. And we'll see. And the other great thing is you don't have to beat all those teams that are better than you, because you don't have to play them all. People are going to knock each other off. You got to play that one game you got to play, and that's it. Then you wait for the next one, and 2 teams that are better than you play, and only one of them's left, and then you play that one. We don't have to line up and play all 4 of those teams that are ranked ahead of us, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what people miss out sometimes. That's why it's called March Madness, Anything can happen.